Hey, what is up YouTube? J Dragonite here. So first and foremost, welcome to the first episode of oTALKu. This is episode 0.5 for a reason, and I'll get to that shortly. But first, please watch my episode 0 for all technicalities like copyright infringement, parental advisory, and other points you should know before watching the show. Here's why this isn't actually episode 1. So every once in a while I may decide to make a discussion or vlog sort of video to kind of vent some thoughts or ideas, or to talk about the deeper concepts of a show if I feel it necessary. So I will not be talking about a specific anime or manga today, just simple discussion. Episode 1 will be an actual anime review. With that, I would like to say that this video will probably be one of the longer vids in the series. I apologize in advance for the length if that's any kind of inconvenience. But there are a lot of points I would like to make that I feel are very important with this discussion. With that, I have a pretty long script here. I talked about that in episode 0. I just kind of do a basic script just so I can kind of keep track of my thoughts. But I have a pretty long one that I will be referencing because I feel these points are very important. I want to make sure I cover everything I'm going to say. So if I ever sound monotone or robotic in this video, I apologize in advance. If you are kind enough to listen all the way, thanks in advance as well. Also, stick around though. Near the end of this video, I have some media I would like to talk about that are great for any anime fan, but especially good for beginners in the anime scene. So on that note, I would like to start out the series and this video with a serious discussion topic, which is elitism, especially in the anime subculture. So what do I mean by elitism? Well, in the subculture of anime fans, there are a few examples. 1, subs are better than dubs. 2, the manga is always better. 3, using the terms weeaboo or otaku in a negative way. And 4, degradation of purely mainstream anime fans. Mainstream anime is kind of like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, anything that has actually been shown on American television or popular media. So the purpose of this discussion is to provide a simple kind of point-counterpoint for each of these examples, while also warning any newcomers to the anime fandom that this sort of mentality sadly does exist in our subculture. If possible, it would be great to change a few mindsets, maybe open some minds to other situations and opinions. I would like to repeat though, as a point from episode 0, that this is all my personal opinion. It is simply that. If you choose to disagree, I respect that, but I respectfully disagree. So, subs are better than dubs. Point 1. This is such a popular debate within our anime fandom, but this goes for pretty much everything, even outside the anime world, really. But everything is relative. Everyone has different tastes and should not be disrespected for them. If someone says they like dubs better than subs, that's an opinion. To say someone's opinion is wrong goes against the very definition of an opinion. For example, when it comes to my personal favorite anime, I like the dub better than the sub. Because I didn't fully know what anime was at the time, so I only knew about dubbing. I only knew of, what this thing called anime is in the English language. When I found the series and watched it, I fell in love with it. But when I fell in love with it, I fell in love with the dubbed version. I understand, and in most cases agree, that Japanese voice actors do a phenomenal job in their performances. I definitely understand that. But people have their own reasons to like what they like. Not only that, and this is kind of a little iffy, but you're also disrespecting an American actor's hard work to try to capture the character to the best of their ability. Now, I understand if it's really, really bad and you're just sitting there like, oh wow, this is, they're not a very good, I want to say they're not a very good actor, they're just not doing a very good job in this particular case. I mean, I can understand that, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of like, put yourself in their shoes, how would that feel? So, My best advice, though, my best kind of way to avoid this whole debate is very simple, actually. If you like dubs, watch dubs. If you like subs, watch subs. That's it. You don't really need to judge each other. You don't need to go back and forth. There's no need for that. It's all anime. It's all enjoyment. It's all entertainment. And there are plenty of people who don't have a preference, who, as long as they're watching an anime, they'll watch either or, whichever they have quicker access to. And it's really as simple as that. I mean, it really can't get any simpler. Point number 2, the manga is always better when people say this kind of thing. And I hear this a lot as well. And to anyone who doesn't understand where that's coming from, basically people say the manga is better because there will be differences between the manga and the anime. The manga will be longer, have more content, won't have any side stories or branching arcs or, you know, sidetracking or any kind of thing like that. Well, this is pretty much the same as the last point. Everything is relative. So if someone only wants to watch the anime, that's fine. But, I mean, feel absolutely free to recommend they read the manga, but you don't need to demean them for just watching the anime. It's understandable that many times the anime is either a condensed form of the manga and leaves out things that are either important or very entertaining to the plot line, or they might not be the complete story. The anime may stop halfway through the manga, and then it won't be approved for another season to cover the rest of the manga. So then you don't really know how the true story ends. There's even been times where the anime is a completely different story than the manga, where, you know, maybe not completely different, but it goes about it in a completely different way. So it's understandable that you would want people to know the true story, how things really happen, but that's no reason to disrespect or demean. It is all I'm saying. So what I'm saying is simply let them know. The solution to the problem is to simply let the person know, you know, hey, the manga actually covers more. You learn more about the characters. You get more story. You get more entertainment. You get the true ending of how things really work. You don't have to put up with all the side arcs and all the side stories. You can go straight through the plot line with the manga. You know, just let them know. It's not right to belittle someone just because you don't approve of their choice of media or entertainment. So at the end of the day, you know, just let them know, and then if they don't want to check out the manga, that's their choice. So then you know the true story, it's just that they don't. And there's really it's not a big deal, really, at the end of the day. As long as they're supporting the series, I feel like it's not a big deal, because as long as they support the series and they support the creators, you know, through purchasing actual content or product or, you know, paraphernalia, then they basically are, you know, helping those creators to make more creations. So you'll get more series from the same creators in the future. On to point 3. This isn't a very big issue, I feel, but it's there. This can happen, which is using the terms Weeaboo or Otaku in a negative way. Now, in my opinion and experience, different words can mean different things in different cultures. So, Otaku is an extremely negative term in Japan. It's associated with shut-ins and NEETs. If you don't know what a NEET is, it's N-E-E-T, and it stands for not in education, employment, or training. And basically it's associated with overall antisocial people who practice kind of like escapism into the world of anime, manga, and video games instead of dealing with the real world. I can understand why people wouldn't want to associate with that. I've heard many anime fans say that they would never identify themselves as an otaku, or they use the term in a negative way, because of what it means in Japan. But that's just the thing. It means that in Japan, in American culture, an otaku can be a fully functioning member of society. They can be a social butterfly. They can hold a job and go to school, and still find time to watch some anime or play some games. Basically, this is the thing. If you wish to identify yourself as an otaku, let no one stop you. If you don't want to identify yourself by that term, you don't have to. But you shouldn't deny people their choice of identity simply because your definition of the word means something different than their definition. Now, the same thing can be said for weeaboo, the term weeaboo. Now, the situation may be different, but the result is the same. Weeaboo is more of a Western term that implies someone partakes in the subculture of anime, but lacks, or in others' eyes, disrespects knowledge of actual Japanese culture, because if you know of true Japanese culture and how Japan is right now in modern times, and then you look at how the culture is presented in anime, you can see various differences in various levels. There can be small differences to very big differences. So you know that anime isn't really exactly how Japanese culture really works right now. So a weeaboo, stereotypically, is someone who does not know how to speak Japanese, and this is an example, yet calls everyone by a Japanese honorific, which is like Chan, San, or Kun after the name. They also, again, stereotypically, claim to learn that they speak fluent Japanese purely from watching anime. While I also may question the feasibility of this, it is not my right to judge someone on how they choose to live their life, but especially when that way of life doesn't actually do any physical harm. Even that aside, if you are just an anime manga fan and choose to identify yourself as a weeaboo, again, go right ahead. No one should stop you, really. If you do not identify yourself as a weeaboo, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But I don't feel it's right to judge how someone wishes to identify themselves, so just let it be, in my opinion. Now, point 4, which is degradation of purely mainstream anime fans. Again, that's something like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Gundam, that kind of stuff that, like, when you say it, everyone knows what it is, even if they're not an anime fan. Now, I'm going to take this point of discussion and expand it to kind of include all the other points we've touched on so far. I feel as though this elitist mindset, especially in our subculture, the subculture of anime fandom, has a major flaw. And the flaw is that it is hypocritical. How? Well, we as anime and manga fans are stereotypically treated as nerds, geeks, dorks, and general outcasts of normal society. Why then do we choose to bully those inside our own subculture? This sort of mindset is very exclusive, in the sense that you are in some way trying to exclude a member of a fandom from their own fandom that you are also a part of. You are casting them aside and mistreating them, which is what general society does to us in the first place. Now, I am definitely not trying to play the violin here. I know how that sounds, but I'm not trying to say, oh, woe is us, this kind of stuff. This is simply a stereotypical, run-of-the-mill scenario, purely hypothetical. There are always exceptions. This goes for all points presented thus far, really. However, I do not feel this elitist, exclusive mindset is acceptable practice in our subculture. I mean, the way I see it is, I don't really see the point in it. It's so much easier to be inclusive. What do I mean by that? Well, with the elitist mindset, you have to deal with pretty much a constant stream of arguments, debates, and flame wars, both on and off the internet. With inclusive mindsets, though, it's a simple process of hearing someone out, discussing their likes and dislikes, and making friendly suggestions. In reflection of the topic of mainstream anime. Here's an example. Say you meet someone who only knows a few mainstream anime, and their favorite anime is Dragon Ball Z. Well, instead of saying something like, oh, you only watch mainstream stuff, you're such a pleb. Now, if you don't know what pleb means, it's basically trying to call someone like a commoner, like you're demeaning them, you're dismissing them, basically. Instead of doing that, try talking to them about Dragon Ball Z. If Dragon Ball Z is their favorite anime, try talking to them about it. Who was their favorite character? What did they like and dislike about the show? Go from there. Go after you have that conversation. Bounce off of that. If they like the action, recommend some action anime. If they like the comedic moments, recommend some funny stuff. They like the message, recommend more media with an actual message behind it. My issue is that it is extremely easy to have fun, interesting, and engaging conversation in our subculture, so why ruin that? Like, doesn't make any sense. Why trouble yourself with aggressive or emotional backlash because you said something offensive or rude? If you talk to people and get to know them a little, the reasons they like what they like will become clearer. Then you can bounce off of that and have a good conversation. As a elitist in this elitist mindset, you basically are telling the person you don't know enough. You don't know enough about anime, or you don't know enough about manga. Well, instead of dismissing them, instead of saying, oh, you don't deserve to be here, which is basically what you're saying. Instead of doing that, help them to that level then. If you feel that's important in some way, help them to that level. So instead of dismissing them and excluding them, again with that exclusive mindset, you're pushing them away. Include them. If they like Dragon Ball Z and they like the action, recommend a bunch of action anime that they might not know as well. And then they could go to that, watch it, and then after that it's just pretty much a domino effect because they're going to watch that and they're going to say, wow, if I missed this, what else have I missed? So then they just keep going and they keep looking up anime and they keep searching and they look for things that are similar, things that are different, things that they like, things that they might not like, and then they learn more. So instead of pushing them away, you're driving them away from that possibility. So instead of doing that, help them along in that, and they'll reach that level quicker. So really, that's all I wanted to really address when it came to the serious stuff. I'm sorry this was so long, but I really felt it was important to talk about this topic, because it kind of just, it messes with me. It just kind of bothers me a little bit because it's so, it's a paradox. It contradicts itself. I would just like to reiterate that these are my opinions and that's all that they are. I would like to keep an understanding middle ground on these topics moving forward. So if you disagree with anything, please understand that everything truly is relative. At the end of the day, just understand that everything is relative. You don't have to agree. I'm not asking you to agree. If you disagree with any of those points, that's perfectly fine. But just that understanding that everything is relative, that everyone has reasons for liking what they like, that's enough. So, moving on. With all that said, I would like to move on to a few quick plugs, and this is going to be a little more lighthearted now. So, there are just a few basics in my personal anime and manga arsenal, and I would like to spread the word on them. So, I would just like to say that I have not, in any way, been paid or compensated to plug these media outlets. I am simply a big fan of them and hope to spread the word on them even just a little bit to help continued support of anime, manga, and overall Japanese media here in America. It's not like I'm well known on YouTube or anything like that. I'm really just doing this for fun and just to spread the word on anime and manga a little bit. So I'm not being paid, I'm not being compensated, nothing like that. Also, just as a quick thing, for anyone underage, be sure to ask a parent or guardian about purchasing any of these things that I'm about to mention. So 2 things. So first of all, I would like to plug Weekly Shonen Jump. It's $25.99 for 12 months, so basically $26 for a year. So if you haven't been around with Shonen Jump for a while, if you remember back when it was like monthly and you got, you know, a physical copy in the mail, things have changed. So now it is digitally released weekly. So now it's Weekly Shonen Jump. It's an easy sign-up process, and it works on most smartphones. It's easy to install and link the accounts and everything like that on Android, iOS, that kind of stuff. All you got to do is you got to go on the website, you know, make your purchase, you know, create a quick account so you can always just go back and purchase the next year once your year's about to be up. You know, just provide your shipping information, you know, that kind of stuff, because they do have prizes and that kind of stuff that they could ship to your house. And plus it's billing information for, you know, whoever's paying if you need to talk to a parent or guardian. But it's an easy sign-up process. It's easy to link the account. All you do is when you sign up with your email and password online, you download the application to your Android or iPhone, and once you go into the application, you simply sign in, and you'll basically get instant access. Then you just have to download your Weekly Shonen Jump manga. You download each volume individually. So like 1 week you download it, and then the next week you download that week's. So it's not automatic. You just have to tap a button and it starts downloading. So just a few points on it. The Shonen Jump now, since it's weekly, it actually comes out as the same day as the Shonen Jump in Japan. So you're getting access to it at the same exact time. If you're reading Shonen Jump right now, you know, it comes out every Monday. So if you're reading Shonen Jump on a Monday, somewhere in Japan, someone's reading Shonen Jump too. I also wanted to make a point really quick about official translations versus early release fan translations online. I've actually gotten into a lot of debates because of miscommunication. The thing is, a lot of these chapters that they show in Shonen Jump are accessible like a couple days earlier than Monday online. But the thing is, on a lot of online manga sites, they're fan translated, and sometimes those translations aren't like exact or aren't what they're meant to be. At Viz Media is an actual corporation, so they have to hire professionals. You know, it's only common sense that they would hire professionals to translate. So when you get your translation of Shonen Jump, you're getting the closest thing that could mean. So, you know, because things can be lost in translation, and that's understandable, but you're getting the official translation, so there wouldn't be any miscommunication, because I've talked about certain chapters of certain manga with friends, and they read online while I read Shonen Jump, and they're saying, no, this is how this chapter went, and I'm like, no, this is what this meant. And it's the official translation, so there can be miscommunication between your official and their fan-made. Plus, not only that, here's another point. If you officially support the manga with Viz Media and Shonen Jump, that helps people the corporations to realize that people are interested in this stuff, so it keeps this media flowing. Whereas if you read it free online, there's no money going to them, so then they won't be as interested in trying to get this over to America. So you're officially supporting the anime and manga and Japanese media here in America. Also, as I said before, with Shonen Jump, there are contests, prizes, and if you play a Yu-Gi-Oh card game, they give you Yu-Gi-Oh cards, more stuff like that. They have drawing contests. They have, you know, things where you could just simply enter a contest, like you could go online and enter your name into the contest, and it's just like a random drawing, and you can win some cool stuff. So that's always cool. And again, and this is for any newcomers to Shonen Jump or anyone who hasn't been with Shonen Jump in a while. They have these two new features called Jump Starts and Jump Backs. Now, Jump Starts, they publish the first like 3 chapters of a new manga in Shonen Jump every week. So so 1 week they'll do chapter 1 of this new manga that's just been released. And then the next week they'll do chapter 2 of that one, and then they'll do chapter 1 of like another new manga. And then sometimes, well, depending, there might be just like one Jumpstart project, so it'll just be like 1 week they'll do chapter 1 of this one series, and then the next week they won't add in a new series. It'll just be chapter 2 of that new series, along with what's usually in the Shonen Jump anyway. So in Shonen Jump, you could get access to a lot of like the mainstream manga, like that's linked to the mainstream anime, like One Piece, Bleach, you know, that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, you could get less known works like Black Clover and My Hero Academia, which are 2 of my favorites to read right now. Also One Punch Man. One Punch Man, that anime is coming out, I believe, later this year. Look forward to that. That's going to be a very good anime. So again, that's $26 for a year to sign up for Weekly Shonen Jump. You get it every week, and it's awesome to just have something new to do, something new to read every week. So moving on from that, I would also like to plug the shirt I'm wearing, Otaku USA Magazine. It's a very easy sign-up process, kind of very similar to Shonen Jump. It's really just, you know, like your shipping address and, you know, your billing address, you know, that kind of stuff, which is most likely going to be the same thing. You just make a quick account on there, so you could just keep coming back every year and ordering again just by logging in. You don't need to re-enter everything again. So I want to talk about this for a little longer than Shonen Jump, because I actually have some physical copies that I would like to show. These are really cool. They're great to have. They have great information in them. They have all kinds of different reviews. They have reviews from everything from anime to manga. They have advertisements for shops like online that you could buy official merchandise from. They have advertisements for any new DVDs or Blu-ray of anime series coming out, that kind of stuff. And they have contests where you can, if you're interested in, you know, any kind of art, they have art supplies that mangaka usually use. They have advertisements for video games, anime-styled video game reviews. It's really an awesome magazine. I was a little skeptical at first when I first ordered it, but I just love getting them in the mail now. They come a little rare though. I think they come maybe every once a month or once every 2 months. They're very, very like few and far between, but the ones that you do get are pretty worth it. There's a lot to read in here. There's been plenty of times where I've flipped through books and I've just, you know, kind of like folded the page over, and then later on I would go back to an anime I saw that I was like interested in, and I would throw it on my watch list. So I've learned about a really like a good number of anime in here, and it's just a great magazine to have. They even have, and I wanted to show this, they have one section where they actually give you 2 chapters of manga. So all you need to do is you flip the book over, so you can actually read it right to left, like you read a manga. And they give you 2 chapters of manga. Basically the beginning chapter of 2 separate manga. They don't give you like 2 consecutive chapters. So it's a pretty cool magazine to have. But there's a lot of different advertisements and a lot of different reviews. They have covers. They have like epic cover stories, like in this particular one, Kill la Kill, great anime. And then once you go inside, let me see if I can find this page for you real quick. They have like a full page of it, full review. They review everything. When they review an anime, they mostly review everything from the soundtrack to the animation to the plot lines. It's really a great magazine to get, especially if you're just starting out in the anime world. You could find some really good anime to watch and some good manga to check out. They even, for you girls out there, they even have some like fujoshi, like kind of like yaoi, a little bit manga there. They have reviews of that, so if you're looking for stuff to read, this is the place to go. There's some great content in these magazines. So I just wanted to plug those two things real quick. They're really great to get. I highly suggest them. You figure 26 bucks and about $20 a year, so you're looking at almost $50 a year. You get one weekly, one maybe monthly, or every 2 months. You get stuff with each. You get access to all kinds of content and contests, and in the magazines, I forgot to mention, sometimes they include like posters for upcoming video games and stuff like that. It's really awesome. It's a great stuff to have. Shonen Jump and Otaku USA. So check them out if you would like. I highly recommend them. So, also, I will include links in the description below, like where you can subscribe to those if you want to sign up. So, with that, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you like any of my content. It would be greatly appreciated. Every little bit helps. And with that, thanks for watching, and have a good one.